Broadcasting from Ireland, featuring interviews with some of the biggest names in magic. Welcome to the Deceive Reality Podcast with your hosts, David Peace and Steve Spade.
And we're back. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast with me, David Peace, and Steve, who's playing with cards and messing with everyone's audio all the time. Isn't it great?
I like to do that. I like to just annoy you a little bit, Dave. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just riffles through that I have to mute out throughout the whole episode. That's very fun. And we've got a very special guest with us this week, Alon from the Alon Magic Society. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. Thank you so much, David and Steve, for inviting me on here. I'm a huge fan of this podcast. You guys do a great job. So, yeah, thank you so much.
We found our one fan.
Oh.
It's great.
Woo!
Yeah, we had it going. But to be fair, actually, we have gotten a bunch of new subscribers. So if you are one of the new subscribers, thanks so much. And if you're not one of the new subscribers, subscribe. 70% of the people who watch are not subscribers. So make sure you do that.
Subscribe, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
And double tap the like button to lock in your choice. We just have to do some magic. But with this, we always tend to start with a similar sort of question. So we'll ask yourself how you got into magic, but also if you can kind of go into then how you kind of set up the whole Alon Magic Society in an area, because it's such a huge thing now in the magic community.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Oh, let's start with the beginning, I guess. We can split up this into two parts. There's my personal magic and then the community, right? Which is, for me, it's always been about, bringing as many magicians as we can into this beautiful art form, because I always talk about magic. It's not just a hobby to me. It's always been a passion, and it's and there's a difference, because you might just play an instrument for fun, but have a passion, which is something that you truly like. That's what you believe for, and that's what you stand for, and that's what you enjoy, and what your whole life is. And I think that's what magic has always been to me, and that's why I've been so passionate about bringing it to as many people as I can. But to start, I guess, with me, magic, I'm currently 19. So I started magic when I was around 10 years old. I think a lot of people, they usually get a magic kit or something like that, or someone in the family starts. I think for me, it was always different. I don't think I personally remember ever receiving a magic kit. So it wasn't something I had. I think for me, with around me being around 10 years old, YouTube was so powerful and things like that, that I would always see Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. I see all these talent shows. I see a lot of that. And I think I don't remember fully exactly the starting point, but I remember watching a lot of YouTube content back then and getting a lot of magic being recommended to me by the algorithm. And eventually I'd get all these tutorials recommended, which is coincidental to the fact that I was also collecting at the same time. And a lot of people collect all kinds of things, coins, whatever, currency, anything. And I would, weirdly, because with my family, we travel a lot when I was younger. So I would like to bring back memories from every country I'd go to. And I always found playing cards something so special. I would collect souvenir decks, the really cheap ones from every single country I'd go to. And at the same time, while seeing all these tutorials on YouTube, I was like, oh, damn, if I'm having cards, I might as well use them, not just have them sitting there somewhere, right? And I guess YouTube is really where it started for me. So I don't know how many people relate to that, but I'm a huge firm believer of the positive side of YouTube. There's always the negative side too, which isn't as fun at all. But if there's this side of YouTube that truly brings people into magic and shares, and that's something that's happened to me, I'm grateful to that. And from there, I guess that's where the spark lit, and I just loved it. The reactions I ever got from the first performance I ever did, seeing people smile, seeing the power, the gift that magic can give people. It's not just, okay, let me show you a trick. You could do that, but I think the power of magic is when you can truly make someone leave a memory in someone's mind for such a long time that they'll remember forever. And for me, that's always been important. And again, that's where the spark lit. So thank you. Sorry for the long answer. That was
It's a good answer. I mean, it is something, I suppose, that you have to be responsible with that then as well. That you can give that feeling to someone, because they might never see another magician, and you might be the only time that they've seen magic live, and that's it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was just on our community. We have jams every week, which I'd be happy to talk about later. But we had the very beautiful luck to have someone who lectured in Blackpool this year, Perseus Arcomanus. He was a lecturer there, and he just joined us for a jam just a few days ago. And oh my gosh, I had one of the most craziest insights, and exactly what you said, Steve. Now it's you never know, you might be performing to someone, and probably, likely, it doesn't have to be like. I know in the UK, for example, magic is such a powerful thing, but here I'm in France right now, and really in a lot of places, they might have just seen magic for the first time in their lives, and it could also be the last, right? So your job is to give them the most powerful, most amazing moment that they could remember forever, because that might be the only thing they've ever seen. So if you're doing something, if you're not a great magician, and to define that, that's the conversation for another day. But it's if you can leave them with a moment, I guess that's maybe what define a good magician. At least Perseus really advised on that, is someone that can leave such a memory on someone. Then that's how you know you did a good job. And I found those words like really powerful. So I'm happy to share that.
When we had him on the podcast, actually, he was like talking about all his story performances and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I rethought about everything I've ever done. I was like, it's all shit.
Oh my
And
gosh,
I
yeah. He's insane. I love it. He thinks about magic in such a beautiful way. Huge shout out to him. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was actually chatting to him at Blackpool just very briefly, but it was great just to talk to him in person after we had him on the podcast, because it is he's a very philosophical way of like talking about magic. You know, it's not just one dimensional within.
No. Yeah.
And it's that thing of starting with magic you're saying on YouTube and stuff. And like we always say, like YouTube's the new library, and everyone sort of gets into it that way. But getting into it online and that sort of stuff, it kind of makes sense then that you kind of have that like online community. Because I know for a lot of people, like in Ireland, like I know in the UK there's magic clubs like every 2 miles, but in Ireland there's not. Like we've got two really, one in Dublin, one in Ulster, and that's like so one of them's even in the UK, but the other one isn't. So we have that sort of. It's like it's a small community where there's not a lot of people, especially if you're on like in the west of Ireland, there's not a lot. So it's that sort of thing of the online community becoming so important for people that you can still have the feeling you're in a magic club without actually having to have a lot of magicians. That's why Blackpool's so great, because you get to actually meet people who have your hobby, which is so rare.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always been a selling point for me. And it's interesting you say that, because I love and respect and just value the UK's magic scene so much, because there's like it always feels like there's a magic club every little moment, and I love that. And on the other side, yeah, you have places all across the world, which there's magicians everywhere. It's so international. It's crazy. It's amazing, but not everyone has that chance to meet up face to face, and that's a huge spark to where it started for me, because I'm currently in France for my university studies, but I used to live in Prague in the Czech Republic, and over there it took me, I think, like 4 or 5 years to even know that there was a magic community there live.
Yeah.
And even then, with language barriers, and I'm not even originally from there, and like such a blah 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 blah, it was tricky. So it's sometimes so hard to even know, when you start getting. I think this is actually a nice intro maybe to how I came up with the society, because the very reason that it happened was I never knew when I started in magic that there was such a big community. I genuinely and I think a lot of people, right, when you enter the magic scene first, I didn't even know there were magic shops. I knew there were magic shops, like maybe like brick and mortar. I knew those existed, like kind of things, but I didn't know it was as big as it is, like Murphy's, Ping, all of this stuff. I would have never, ever, ever assumed it was so big, and yet alone hundreds of thousands of magicians all around the world, Blackpool, all these things, I would have never believed. So it's so hard when you enter magic to begin to find people, and it took me a long time to build that. So social media helped and all of that, but eventually I was tired a bit from finding people, and I genuinely, that this is the most lame story it could be, but I was just like, I'm not gonna find people. I'm just gonna try something. I'm gonna create something. Let's see if people come to me, and it either goes horrible, it either goes shit, and nothing happens, or it does really well. And lucky for me, and I'm so grateful, it's grown to be so huge and so incredible, and I'm so grateful and happy to have had such an effect on people. And that's really the starting point of this community. And yeah.
So I was similar. Like when I first started learning magic, it was the kids' magic sets. My dad knew a few party tricks, that sort of stuff. And then I used to always playing around. I learned Stebbins in a book, and that was like my way to go. And then when I was about 15, I think 14, 15, my dad met an actual magician who like was semi-professional, and he started teaching me magic. And I remember he wrote down illusionist.com, penguinmagic.com. And
Yeah.
I was just like looking at these websites, and this was like 2004, 2005. Like, what is this? This is
Yeah.
insane. It's like,
It's
it's absolutely
crazy.
mental.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's
Completely.
absolutely. Because one of the
Yeah.
things you get to that's really good in the society is the lectures and all the sort of guests and that sort of stuff. We found like even for ourselves when we first started doing the podcast and you're just like asking people, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? And it was like really tough. And it was really Mike Lamar was our first like big guest. And he just came on,
Wow.
said yes, during the
Wow.
pandemic. Everyone was sitting at home. And once we had that, then it was a lot easier to get other people to come because we were like, well, Michael Lamar did it. Did you have a similar sort of situation of trying to get people to come lecture?
Oh, 100%, 100%. You can imagine. Now take this. I was, I think, yeah, 15 years old when I started the community. Maybe 14 even. It's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
absolutely tiny. And oh my gosh, and it was like nowhere. We had before the society itself, we had a Discord server. That was important. That's like where I began. That's where I was like, okay, let me create something. I knew Discord existed as a platform. I was like, okay, it's popular back then, and it was actually right like before-ish, like maybe a few months before COVID, and then COVID hit, and it was like, oh my gosh, now I have a chance to really push it. And we had the Discord, and we would have like, I don't know, I think we had like 200, 300 members that I found from my friends and stuff from social media that I made. That was the first place from Instagram, the first magicians I ever met, and that was huge for me. And we would do jams every week and etc. Blah 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 blah. And then when COVID got a little deeper into it, I came up with this crazy idea of this actual to make it a proper community. The Magic Art Society, and then we made it a huge deal. But I was still 14, 15 years old, and it was so important to me. The first thing I said, and I'm so grateful because I had two incredible friends, and who are now my team members in the society, Tom and Joseph, who were incredible people. And I told them, and I was like, okay, I have this crazy idea. Do you guys want to be a part of it? Let's do it. Let's try it. We created the community, and one day we got like maybe 100, 200 people join from the Discord. It was simple. It was just, it sounds like a lot of people all at once, but just from the Discord. And then growing that from the first few months was so difficult. And I said it would have to be free because that's what I was about. I wanted to give people access into magic for free because if I was in that spot, I would want to learn magic. I was always thinking, okay, someone's right now going on YouTube, they're accessing like a tutorial or whatever, and they want to learn more. They're just getting into magic, so are they willing to invest? Probably not, because they're just getting into it. So that was really important to me. And then having events and keeping it active was super important. I didn't want it to die out, and that was the number one thing. And to this day, that's what I think. I've talked to Lloyd, for example, at Blackpool. He was like, Alon, how do you keep this thing so active every single month? And that was always important. That's the first thing I have as a priority, to keep it active. And the only way we could do that, the events, the lectures, etc. And I'm 15 years old. Reaching out to people was so hard. So what we did at the start was we would have to build some sort of reputation. So I would just ask any of our members for the first time, anyone want to do a lecture? You don't have, no one knows you. It doesn't matter. Who cares? If you have something you want to share, let's do it. And we had Tomel, our team member. He did the first lecture. He's been in magic for a long time. He's a mentalist. So he had some of his own ideas. And it was the first lecture we ever had. Then we had some more members do some card magic, with some more members do mentalism. Even Joseph did a lecture at that point. And I think that was in the first 7 or 8 months. It was just our members lecturing. And then we started reaching out to people. Like, I think Eric Stevens, for example, he was one of the, I think he was the first bigger name that we ever brought, but I don't think I know exactly sure, but I think he was one of the first or second for sure. And we knew him. And this was before, actually, it was crazy, before he released all his stuff. Back then, he was on Discord, he was active. He had some stuff out in the magic community, but now he's become such a crazy cool name, which is amazing. And then it slowly started to build up. But I was 15, reaching out to people, that was hard. And I think the only way it worked is because we kept growing, because people wanted to learn, and our members were so active and so engaged that it just worked. But to this day, it's still so hard. Even if we're practically the largest online magic community that's so active in the world, and it's still sometimes hard because it's online and you've got all these factors and people, and yeah, I completely understand. But I'm happy where it's gone, and damn, it was a lot of work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
again,
looks like a
sorry for
lot
the
of
long
work.
answer.
You can
Even
see
just the
it build.
production.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your spinning wheels that you bring up and to pick out guests, and like it's the technology of it just makes it
Oh yeah,
really, really cool. Like
the
it adds.
technology is another aspect. Yeah. That's super fun because on another side, I work in an incredible virtual events company, and it's what we do. And I actually, company I work at back during COVID, it's called Inside the Show. And what we would do, the events we would do, it was all the magicians that did virtual shows during the pandemic. They came to us. So like Andrzej Pszeniczka, he had a crazy show with butterfly playing cards. Dan White, Justin Willman, all these huge names. When during COVID, they would do that, and that was really huge. But I was like, I'm not gonna do a virtual show. I was still a young kid. I was getting into magic. I only started gigging actually 2-3 years ago properly, and it wasn't my thing. So I was like, how else could I benefit from it? I was like, oh my gosh, well, we have an online community. How else do we stand out? Because I didn't want to just have lectures where, okay, I bring on a lecture and then they have their camera on and they're just talking for 3 hours teaching magic. That's great, but the experience itself is so important to me, and getting people engaged, the giveaways, blah 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 blah. Fast forward 2 years, now we have a full-time collaboration with Murphy's Magic as our biggest friend. I wouldn't even call it a sponsor because they actually help us with friends. I also now host and run their Discord server, so that's also exciting. We collaborated on that. So all these things led to these beautiful partnerships with our friends of the Daily Magician, etc. Blah 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 blah. Who are now FISM winning email champions or whatever. I don't know. So that's so
Just say
exciting.
FISM champion when you're advertising as a performer. Just FISM champion. They don't look why. Book me to do your gig. I'm a champion.
Yeah, exactly. So it's crazy. It's crazy, but it all started somewhere, and like I have the graph of how the like growth was, and it's genuinely exponential, right? And that's good. It is because it starts out so slow, and then bam bam bam, and nowadays we have like maybe like 5 new members joining every day, and back then it was like 5 every 2 weeks or something. Like that was crazy. So it's beautiful, and I'm so grateful. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the members. Like they're the ones who make it happen. Like, and it's true. Like they push it. They are so active. I could keep bringing events, but they don't have to come. So the fact they do, it's just so special, and yeah, that it's
True.
great.
Yeah, it's great. It's a kind of breath of fresh air in one way because it's kind of a new lease on like you're using the technology. It's interactive. It's a great way. It's not that stuffy lecture. All men
Yeah.
sitting around talking shit.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's online. That's the thing that always scared me. And I was like, that's why I was always not sure it would work. Because you have like Blackpool, for example, and lectures are amazing. Like you could sit through a lecture for an hour and it goes by so fast. But because you're there live, it's obviously different. Virtually, you could just turn off your camera and grab a coffee and no one will know. You're not paying attention. And I never wanted that. Like, okay, there's always going to be people like that. But I wanted to ensure every single way that because I want people coming back. I want them to leave a lecture, whatever name it is, whether it's the biggest name possible or just someone smaller that's wanting to share their creations. I don't care. I wanted people to still want to come back to the next event and the next event and the next event. That's the only way we could keep it active and grow, really. And all these little things that were so important to me. And I guess that was my perspective on things, and I think it's working. So yeah.
Definitely.
No, it's good.
It's great. It's really cool. Have you thought about, like, you do like meetups obviously at Blackpool and that sort of stuff for your members? Do you have any like ambitions yourself of like having the Magic Alon convention in person or anything like that?
It's so funny you mentioned that because it's been a conversation like recently. Not within our team, not within my mind. It's actually ironic because your last guest was Harry, right?
Yeah.
So Harry is the one, because first of all, big shout out to Harry. I cannot be on here and not say that because that guy is a huge friend of this community. I don't think I've had a single one of our members advocate our community as much as Harry. He's amazing. He was one of the first lectures we've had. Thanks to him, we've brought on so many incredible names that you've also had, like Zaikin on here. Just incredible stuff. And Harry just keeps nonstop talking to me. He's like, well, let's do the Magic on Society. Come on, Alon, I promise you it's going to go so well. And I'm like, wait. Harry, you know of all people how hard this stuff is. And, we're in an online community and stuff. And the thing is, we have 90. It was like a month ago, it was 88 nationalities. And I was just looking at the analytics yesterday. It was 92 nationalities now, which is insane. 92. I'm like, how am I going to bring 92 countries together? Would it be in the UK where most of our members are based, or actually based on our statistics, most members are in America than the UK? I don't know. It's like, it's so much work and so hard. But David, 100%, I'm saying it now on this beautiful podcast. This is my prediction. Okay, my mentor's prediction. Within the next 5 years, there'll hopefully be something. I hope. That's my big long-term ambition.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Yes, let's do
it. And like moving away from the society a bit for your thing as well, for yourself when you're performing, what sort of style of magic do you like? Is it a mix of everything, or do you like a specific style of magic?
Great question. As mentioned earlier, like I began with card magic, and now if you ask any of my good friends in magic, oh, does Alon do card magic? They will all say, no. No, I moved away from card magic, and unfortunately, I'm trying to come back to it, but I really, really, really quickly connected to mentalism so much. I remember one day, the first day, I tried a purely mentalism approach of a presentation, because mentalism, again, is a branch of magic, but I think it's just really the presentation you take in mentalism, that whatever way you present it, whether it's like, most people now, and I'm guilty of it too, go towards that Darren Brown approach because he's inspired so many. Oh my gosh, he's incredible. Or to a more, or Colin Cloud route, which I think is more of my presentation, where that leans towards like this mysterious, like psychological character. And I've always enjoyed that aspect so much with people. Whenever now in university, for example, I'm practically performing every single day in between my classes, and people constantly want to see the new thing. And they're always like, now they know me as a mentalist. They know the term mentalism now because I say it so much. It's because I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I love magic. I do magic again, mentalism is a part of magic, but like, more visual stuff and all of that. I still like it, but when I get to do mentalism and really connect, I always like to make it about, as Perseus says, like making the magic about the spectator, making it really about them. And it's so important. The best way I could do that with mentalism is really have them think of someone in their personal life, have them, or even if it's like a celebrity, which isn't related to them, it's like still meaningful to them, rather than pick a card or something like that. So, and people connect to that, especially people my age, and I think adults more. Like I did in Prague, the main kind of gig I would do, and consistently until I came to France with my university, I haven't been gigging for so many months now. Hate it. But I was doing kid shows all the time. That's what I was doing. And I remember the days I would come to my magic jams every Friday to my community, and I'd be like, guys, that was the best show ever. I absolutely love kid shows. And then the week after, I'd come back and I'm like, guys, I'm never doing a kid show again. Never, ever, ever, ever. And it would just be this. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. And this caused a cycle. And I still don't know to this day if I like kid shows or not, It's still confusing. But that was different. I wouldn't do mentalism for kids. I might present it as it, but it's not always the most suitable kind of magic.
It can feel weird, a bit like look into my eyes with a kid.
Exactly. It's really, really weird. So that's why I do prefer performing, I think, to people my age and adults and whatever. But because I get to really explore my own personality and character as a performer, and mentalism really works well for me, and people believe it. That's the number one thing. And I had this conversation again in the community recently. It's ridiculously weird, and I feel always guilty about it. It's just like, but I try not to, because that's what we do as magicians, right? We shouldn't feel guilty every time we perform at all, because that's not what we're doing. We're entertaining, and it's just a piece of art, right? My favorite thing to tell people is, especially if I have a heckler or something, it's like, okay, if you go to a movie, I don't remember who told me this, but it's something I stand by. If you go to a movie right now and you're going to watch, okay, Superman, you're not going to go in the middle of a movie and say, no, it's fake. He's not actually flying. He doesn't actually shoot fire from his eyes. no shit, he doesn't shoot fire. But you're not saying that in the movie. It's the exact same in magic. It's a parallel thing. You're not. Why should you know it's not real? But you don't have to say, oh my god, he didn't actually make the cards fly. No shit, I didn't like. No shit. Okay, but enjoy it, right? Like a movie. So that's always my mind space when it comes to magic. And with mentalism, they genuinely are convinced, especially if I present it as psychology, they genuinely convinced. They're like, I'm like, do you enjoy that? Yeah. Oh my gosh, but yeah, it's crazy how you knew that when I blinked. I was thinking that should I improve my poker face or something? I'm like, so it's such an interesting parallel that I get, and I seem to connect more with mentalism. So yeah, that's that.
It's similar to me. Like I always go like mentalism is what I perform and magic's my hobby. It's like I can't sit around and play with coins and cards and stuff. But then I like if especially on stage I'm a mentalist. But the thing with me and Steve saw at Blackpool actually that was great was Ben Earl's lecture on card magic, because we came out of it going he approaches card magic like a mentalist, because the method is done really early and then it is all presentation and like really strong presentation, and it's his the family I got like a free month membership with his lecture notes, and it's like sign up for longer. It's really good for like that mentalism thinking with cards. So if you want to get back in the more card stuff, look at that.
Oh yes, it's a different way of thinking about cards completely.
Yeah, great recommendation, because I told myself I think my 2026 goal now is getting back into card magic, because there's just so much you could do with cards, and I have books here with cards, and I have so much card magic I can learn. I guess I've been lazy because I've always wanted to keep. I have this new mentalism thing or something like that, blah blah blah, that I keep getting into, and card magic just falls behind. But I really, 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 really want to get more into that. So that's my personal, again, 2026 goal. Yeah, thank you for the recommendation, Ben Earl. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good with it to get it going. Steve, you were going to say something before I rudely spoke over you.
I can't remember what it was now. Oh yeah, no, I do. I remember. You amnesia. You made it go. Yeah, no, about that. Like when you're performing, when we're saying that you were doing the kid shows and stuff, and then you were saying you liked it one week and then you didn't like it. I think there's guys that perform kids magic for 40 years and they had that conversation with themselves every day. So I think that's one of those things. If you have a really good show, you probably feel on top of the world. But then there's other times where kids are ruthless, man. They don't. Just,
oh, they're so ruthless.
What was it? What was the thing that Wes Barker called it? They don't suspend their belief, isn't it? Isn't that it?
Yeah, they don't suspend. Yeah, they can't suspend their
disbelief. Yeah, suspend their belief. Yeah.
I had a kid kick me in the balls in the middle of a kid show when I was younger.
Really? Oh, that's where the trauma started. Oh no. Oh,
his hair fell out and everything. It was horrible.
Shocking. But yeah, he just ran up in the middle, and the parents like, "Oh, sorry, he has autism." I'm just like, "But like, don't let him kick me in the balls, please."
Yeah. Oh no. Shit.
But they're like, "But he loves kicking people in the balls."
Oh my god. No, okay, that's I hope that doesn't happen to me. Yeah, now I know. Now I'm gonna stick to a few meters distance. No, that's insane. Yeah, that's kids magic. Yeah, that's kids magic too. Honestly, you never know. It's because it really is. Yeah. No, go on.
I was just saying that kids magic is just a completely different breed of art, because my wife when we were dating was like, you should do more kids magic, and then we were at something that a kids magician we know was at a wedding, and I was like, let's just watch him, and afterwards she's like, yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, exactly. It's completely different.
Yeah, because you never know. Like, generally, sometimes it's just a good audience. Like, I would say, like, okay, there's, we always say like, oh, there's usually at least one that kid, kid, there's that kid, and that's all we need to say, right? But sometimes I genuinely get lucky if there's like a group of 10 kids, birthday party, small group, and there's no one. It's beautiful. But sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and that's what it is. But you learn. I learned so much from doing kid shows. That's what I'm most grateful for. You just learn these skills and audience management, like that will apply to any kind of show, whether it's adults or whatever. It's great, and I'm grateful too. So that's
works your misdirection as well. If you can misdirect a room full of kids, I always think as well when you show up to, like, I used to kids fairs years ago, but I always had the thing of, if I showed up and the parents shoved me into a room with all the kids, and they went to have wine in the kitchen, I knew it was going to be a bad party because the
Oh
kids are just
no.
unsupervised and wild, and I'm the
Oh
babysitter
no.
rather than anything else. But it's like that's always a red flag of being like,
Yeah.
and after that, I'd be like, this is a family show for parents and for kids. He can't
Oh
leave.
my god. Yeah.
That's when they kicked in the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's when it happens. Now you know.
Parents are
Now
there
you
for that
know.
one.
You anyone watching that does kid shows, you've just learned a lesson there.
That's where. Yeah. Okay. Now you can PayPal David and Steve $20.
yeah.
That's my whole lecture. Just how not
That's
to
it.
kick
Yeah.
the ball got a kid
How to
fired.
get not
Yeah,
kicked in the
great.
balls.
That's a great title. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We'll bring you on, David.
That's good. You can get
Oh, that's
people
great.
can pick up my Fateless deck.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's been killing me.
Boom.
That was subtle. That was really subtle.
I got that plug just in there. DeceiveMinds.com.
Yes.
Where can you go? Oh, look at that.
That's it. Yeah, right. Click. Guys, search that up. Okay. Put that in. Yep. Type that in.
Yeah.
Type that in. Yep. Okay. We'll give you a few seconds. Yep,
that's this getting the plug. I should have had one of them for the Alon Magic Society, but I didn't. What are you gonna do?
No, it's okay.
I think everyone knows about that. But one thing you're saying with the lectures and it being free and stuff like that is always great, because I always think as well, like when it comes to like exposure and people complain about free stuff, because it's like a Discord server and like you really have to be in Magic and have a real interest in Magic to even find it, and that's where it's great to have it like a resource like that that's available for people, because like as they always say, I think I heard Lloyd say it the other day about like Magic is a closed door, not a locked door, and it's like if people can find that, they should get it free. There shouldn't be a price tag on learning Magic. It should be for everyone.
It should.
I love that.
Yeah, for sure. That's been so huge. Yeah.
There's a lot of these guys there with the subscriptions and I can make you 20 grand a week and fucking whatever, these guys, for at least it's not that, you know what I mean?
That's so funny because Tom in our team, he always jokes around that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna sell a course on how to make a course about making a course and selling a course. It's like, oh, great, fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you were that busy, you'd just be doing fucking gigs and that's it. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, guys, did I not tell you about my next project? I'm gonna create a community about how to create a Magic community.
Wow.
Isn't that great? No, never do that. I'll never do that.
And basically, it's like invite everyone who joined this course into your community. Now you have a community. Thank you. Bye. I'm done.
Yeah, and it's not a pyramid scheme.
Secrets.
I just gave it away for free. Sorry. That's it done.
Yeah.
You're saying now you're in college in France and you're out performing and stuff like that. And how are you finding performing out there?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun because okay, so there's two sides here. Number one, as I said, since I come here to France, I haven't been gigging, unfortunately. I always get clients now in Prague all the time for kid shows, and luckily I have a friend there that I refer all my gigs to. But it's been so hard, especially with the language barrier. Even in Prague, I would mainly perform I was in an international school in Prague, at British school actually. So that's kind of a lot where I got to expand to, and everybody in the international scene in Prague would know me. Here, it's like I'm coming to a new country, no one knows me yet, and it's like I've been so busy with all my work and here in uni, and it's crazy and it's ridiculous. And it's like trying to balance that with the community and performing. So what I just said myself is, okay, I will take a year now from gigging, because if I really wanted to, I think I could have tried to get gigs and started to expand and maybe look for things and residencies and whatever. But I told myself, okay, I'll focus on my studies a bit next year, maybe see where it goes. But this year I can actually focus on myself in improving myself and in Magic and all kinds of things. And in Magic, I've really this year, I believe that I've learned so much more than I have in a while. And I've got to really let the community grow and really focus on I put all my time, all my free time really into this community, every single second. And I've got to learn a lot, and I'm happy. I think that's where we're gonna. The other side is, I guess, performing. As I said, every day I still get to perform, and luckily I have that right here with my classmates, because in school, it was always different for me where, everybody's like, I don't know, 80, 90 people my whole year. And now I have like 600, in my first year in university. So it's ridiculous. So every single day I see a face I've never seen before, which means they probably haven't seen me before. I know there's kind of word of mouth spreading about the university magician now, just like I was a school magician, but people don't know. So I get to open up a new door and show them what I do and try something new. And I'm not really scared if it's like, okay, a new trick I just learned a black bull. This is the perfect place for me to try before I do it somewhere else. And that's always fun. I'm learning new presentations. I'm learning like, okay, when something works, whether it's the method, whether it's the trick, whether it's the presentation, whatever. And that's been great. So that's the cool side of it.
It's a great advantage. I mean, Steve always talked about the disadvantage of like getting older, that like we don't go out to bars or like socialize with like a group of a load of friends in the evenings as much anymore. So it's like, or even when
much anymore.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah, never. You've got a kid, so that's.
I've got a kid.
Yeah.
I can still go out. But it's also more like I'll just sit with my friends and have a chat. While like 10 years ago, I just wander off and find strangers and go perform for them because I wanted to try out a new trick.
Yeah.
But it's like it's much harder to practice, which is something you don't think about when you get older because you
100%.
meet less strangers and in those social environments.
100%. 100%. I was so inspired by what was it? Yeah, when Lloyd, because I never, and I still don't believe that Lloyd is so. He finds it tricky to perform to strangers and things, and I find that inspiring in a way too, because like he can do it, and if he no, well, how do I phrase? But I was watching the podcast he did with the underperforming hobbyists, the crazy name that popped up on YouTube, legend that guy is. And they had this such an interesting chat, and they were talking about all this stuff. That's what's interesting about people just like going out there and like performing to strangers. And what's the worst case that can happen? Like for me, what's the worst case? Okay, I mess up, and hey, I just did it. I was just trying something on a classmate. Whether I see them or not the next day, I don't know. But what's really the worst case is never really that bad. It's not that extreme. So I think every chance anybody ever gets for any advice, anybody watching, to perform anywhere, anytime, like take it. Don't hesitate. Just take it, and there's not really a worse thing that will happen. So that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone else going to go perform a punch in the face.
Sorry?
Someone will go out and be like, "You're tricking." Like, that's not my card. Punch in the face. And they're like, well, I was told nothing bad would happen.
Yeah.
Be like, Alon said it would be okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fuck, don't sue me, guys. No, let's not go there. No, that's too much of that now.
The good thing about doing the close-up magic or street magic kind of style, when you're just hanging out with your friend in college, is that like as that builds and people get to know you, you could have the opportunity a year down the road, like doing a show at the college or something. You know what I mean? So you could build towards something like that, which is a good way to go.
100%. Like there's professors that I have in my university that know I do magic now, and I had one who's really, really likes what I do, and he gave me for like a month every single class we'd have, so 3 or 4 classes at the start. He just gave me a little opportunity to perform in front of the whole class of, I don't know, it was a small class of 30 people, and I would just perform something new, like a kind of parlor-y thing. That was really cool to me. So all these like opportunities, they're fun, and for sure. But you mentioned close-up too. It's interesting because actually, when I started magic, especially, I would do a lot of close-up, and I loved close-up, but I didn't have many opportunities to do close-up properly back in Prague. And now all I'm doing is close-up. But in Prague, I would mainly do a lot of stage stuff, whether it's kid shows, which isn't stage, it's like parlor, birthday, private party sort of thing. But I would do a lot of stage stuff at school too. Every like 3 times a year at my school, I would do like a Christmas show. I would do something on Halloween, and I would do like an end of year. We had a performing arts festival. I'd always perform like a stage piece, and I would always create a new act for that, and I would always record it, and I would learn from that, and it was amazing. And I did a lot of stage stuff. So all the magic I would learn by everything like that was a lot of stage stuff, and I really, really connected to the stage world. And I decided like last year that stage magic is what I like most. But now I'm doing a lot of close-up, and that's interesting to me, like that big transition I've had recently. And that's why I'm, trying to go back to card magic, because I never really had to with stage. I wouldn't do a card trick on stage. Like I could, but it wouldn't be like, banner or card trick on stage. You would do that more close up. So that's also been interesting. Just worth of like sharing if anybody ever has to transition so quickly. It's an interesting thing, but I'm still exploring it. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious about the year out of gigging as well, of like where you're going to go, because that transition as well, if you want to do more mentalism when you go back gigging rather than kids parties and stuff like that, it's like that can be a hard transition to get out of, especially like if you're still in like the pride community and stuff like that people to get those new bookings and stuff. But by taking a year out and like coming back reinvented, it's like reappearing on whatever scenes and stuff like that, it would be quite a nice way to do, because you'll have grown as a person and then gotten out of it and coming in with your new direction you want to go. It'll be really good.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see, I guess, how it goes. I'm also really lucky that I'll get to travel with my university studies. Hopefully it's not confirmed yet, but this September I'll be going to Singapore, which is quite crazy, for a few months. And then the next year I get to do another exchange where I will probably go to the UK for 6 to 12 months. And I'm wondering what I could do there, and the different cultures and the different experiences of performing, like all the way to Asia. I've never performed in that kind of environment before. That's also going to be interesting. So, and yeah, if anyone watching this podcast has experience of that, please let me know. Like, put it in the comments, guys. Like the podcast. But seriously, I'd be curious to know, or reach out, because that's something I'm also curious about all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to be inspired. Like every kind of magician from everywhere around the world all have different. Could be the same trick, but nobody does it the same.
100%.
Everyone got their own take. And we were only saying that about Blackpool. We said it with Harry, but how diverse it can be, from like kid magicians to like in Blackpool, you see dudes like going around, gothic dudes, biker dudes, hangirls, and a few girls. But the majority are like different class of people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, it's insane. It's insane. You have everyone, all ages, all everything. That's again so beautiful, that magic. I mean, I'm sure there's all ages and all kinds of things in music or whatever, but it's nice that we have that magic. Of course, it would be nicer if we had, gender-wise, it'd be better, and in all kinds of things. But I am glad at least that I'm seeing, and for me, that was also a huge part in the community, because as I said, I created when I was 14, 15 years old. It started really as a young magician community. And I have so many incredible magicians my age, young magicians that are doing great things. A huge example right now, which keeps blowing my mind every single day, my good friend Rafferty Coop, who's now what everybody's talking about, Britain's Got Talent, like nonstop. And he's a great friend. And things like that, people like that are just inspiring me all the time my age, and having that be so strong. I mean, I'm so happy to call my now I'm 19. I don't know if I'm a young magician anymore like them. Like it's up to 18 years old. Now I'm 19. It's like now I'm in the adult world.
Once you get to 20, it's over.
What is 20? Okay, so I have one more year. Good. Okay.
It's like give up in your dreams now.
Oh no, but it's so nice to see so many incredibly talented. Like I genuinely believe, and I'm not saying that as a young magician. I really, and I hear it from so many people saying like the future magic is so bright. Like yeah, there's all the crazy like online stuff that's happening and all that, but like you forget all that, and genuinely like the future of magic is so bright. So excited to see where it'll go. Like, will magic be really techy in the future or not? I don't know. Is that a good or bad thing? I don't know. I like to use tech, but I don't know. Will it become this thing? Will it become this thing? Will illusionists and stuff like start to become less and less? I have no idea. I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't have a mentalism prediction for that one, but we can only wonder, I guess.
Just put an envelope behind you that's empty, and you can use a thumb tip and roll into that.
Right there behind me, there's a big envelope. We'll put it inside a big safe for 10 years, and we'll see what now.
Yeah, time capsule, dig it up. But yeah, magic is always changing, because it's like technology is going to be huge for a while, and then everyone's going to go, well, like that's too much technology, and then it'll go back to pen and paper, and then you get bored. It's like a fashion. I'm like, I'm holding on to my skinny jeans because they'll come back. I'm not giving up them. I'm not giving up them.
Yeah. Yes, David.
Yeah.
But it is good. It is good to see more girls and stuff joining, and women obviously as well, like globally. Like it's so much better than it was, and I think it was bad because of like what we're talking about, like the old guys is an all man's club doing all man magic, and you're not welcome here kind of shit. At least that's stopping now with the online community. They can come in and come out. They can go to some conventions. They have their own
100%.
conventions. It's great. We've had a few, women in magic kind of thing on the podcast, and then we had Ella on as I did a gig with Ella, but we're going to get Ella on at some point and stuff. So
Amazing.
it's great to see people doing stuff,
Yeah, and it's like, the more you see, the more inspiration other people see. Like even like Craig's daughter is in magic now because she sees similar magicians and they've inspired her. So like you're not going to get into it if you don't see someone who looks like you doing magic.
100%.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
So I really hope that side of things really improves. And again, my community, and in any community, like whatever, like especially online, it's just so nice that because it's exactly what you're saying. Like with the local communities that you have, and all these, like sometimes, they're much more. They're run by the older dudes, and you come in maybe, and you're like, oh, why is there 20 older guys there? And then you just get a bit disappointed and you leave away, and that always annoyed me. So I hope that and as you just said, it's been improving in the last few years.
And it's always like 20 guys who like want to be successful but are just old grumpy bastards. Like, to be fair,
it's so annoying. It's the same guys who go on Facebook groups and start complaining about everything, and I'm like, come on, just enjoy life a bit. Like, just enjoy the art form, enjoy things. Let's move on. I don't know. It might not be that simple, but in my eyes it is. I don't know. It's how it is.
But it should be that simple, because I think people take it very seriously. And like, this is the 10th way you can control a card, but like, you only need like one, really. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, it doesn't have to be. It's like a lot of people have like tons of knowledge, but they don't have place to do it, so they just feel like they need to lecture you. That kind of way. It's just it's strange. The magic community. That's why what you're doing is like a breath of fresh air, because you're letting it be accessible to people, where like the old school magic clubs are just creepy guys with ponytails.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. That's exactly exactly what I said. Like,
except Dave, he's bald as shit.
I'm now the old guy in the group who it's not like there's like a group of us who meet up in Cork in Ireland, and I'm like the oldest guy who shows up now. So I was like, I used to be the youngest back in the day.
No, but
the fact that you said back in the day proves that you're the fucking oldest.
Back when my knees worked.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so that's always been really important to me personally. Like bringing that perspective. And again, whenever we have jams, so we have jams twice a week on our community, and for 3 years we had a 3-year anniversary in November, which is crazy. It's gonna be 4 years this November of this society. That's like this society before Discord. Again, it was a year before that, and we would have jams now for every single week. We haven't missed a single jam. That means, have I missed a jam? Yes, I've missed jams personally. I can't make every Friday, but there's always people on there, which is insane. And that's been going on consistently for 52 weeks for 4 years now. And now we also have Murphy's on Saturday. So twice a week jams. Insane. And the always number one thing that's always been important to me is whenever someone joins, whenever someone new especially joins that I've never seen before, we just kind of slow down. We stop. Maybe someone's performing a trick, whatever, after they finish. Always let them introduce themselves. Always say hi. We make them feel welcome, because I related to that in a negative way before, when I used to join jams of places or meetings in Magic before, and I would just pop in and everybody kind of knows each other, and I feel left out, and then I get so discouraged. I have and I just either leave or I don't even turn on my camera, because people are scared. It's online. You always, how many times have you heard not to talk to strangers, right? And then online, it could be anybody. You don't know. It could be someone it could be bad. So if I
could be people like Dave.
Yeah, no kidding. We love you, Dave. But seriously, like you never know, right?
Yeah, of course.
What could be, and if I can eliminate anything uncomfortable like that, and I could just say, okay, I'm telling you, this is the most welcoming community. I'll prove it to you. Come and join, and you'll feel welcome. You'll want to stay. You'll want to jam. You want to be happy. Introduce yourself. Tell us about it. If you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't want to turn on your mic, that's fine. Our most active member on our Discord, he's never turned on his camera or mic ever, but he's so active every day in the chat, every day in the jams, writing in the chat. Doesn't matter. He's active. Everybody knows who he is, supportive. I feel like I know him, but I've never seen him. And that's a choice he's making, and that's fine. But as if I can let people just do whatever and still be happy and like comfortable with themselves being there, that's always been important to me. And luckily we've done that so well now, and I hope it continues to be that way. And I hope and wish to see much more of that in any other place in Magic. So that's
yeah. Every magician seems to have, especially professional magicians that perform regularly, and TV magicians or famous magicians or whatever you want to call them, and they all seem to have that story about not feeling welcome in a magic club, not feeling welcome, kind of correct. Everyone, like anyone we've ever talked to, has mentioned that.
I just keep going back to the never talk to strangers and picturing your parents when you're like a 15-year-old being like, so I'm talking to hundreds of random strangers on the internet.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. And that's always gonna be weird. Because even we have like our youngest member, he is 10 years old. And he joined us when he was like 8 or 9. Just crazy. I don't know how he found Discord. I don't even know how he found this. Honestly, I don't know. Luckily his parents are totally okay with it. Really nice guys, and he's so incredible. This kid, I have to give him a shout out here. His name is Michael. He's 10 now, and he won because we have our biggest event we do every year in December. It's called our award ceremony. Well, we give awards, but we bring in lectures, shows, and stuff, and blah 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 blah. And we do our community awards too. But he won our community award, which is like a member just that's active and everything. The guy is so talented for 10 years old. He's gigging at 10 years. It's crazy. I don't know. The future is bright. That's what I'm saying. The future is bright. And, it's weird, right? I always think to myself, oh my gosh, thank God his parents know and they're okay with it. But that's also one side of things, online. And, that's how it's always going to be. So we have very few members that are that young. But it's nice that we have 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds. And then you have 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds. And I can see it, I can see the age range, especially on our live events. I can see who has their camera on. It's like, oh my gosh, there's a little kid there. Oh, now there's this guy. But that also makes me happy to see that everybody can learn Magic, and that's fine.
Yeah, it really is an art for everyone. And I'm just thinking that, Steve, you really need to get Michael off his ass. He's 5 now, and like he still can't do a double lift. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but Dave, like you're way older than 5, and you can't do a double lift. So,
when did it become big on David? Like Jesus, my double.
It's been a long day.
I'm getting there. It's going to be perfect soon, I'm sure.
That's funny.
Any day now.
Yeah, any day now. It's very difficult. But it is but even speaking that is like, it's one of those things that you go back to with Magic, of like how quickly you can pick up something strong and be able to go perform it. And like how many tricks do we know that is just a double lift at the end? Like the method is a double lift, but it's like,
oh my god,
20 million tricks that we can do.
Everything goes down to the double lift at the end of the day. Like I think, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It's like, what would we do without that? In fact, it's such an important move that spoiler alert, when you join our community, because it's also important because we have like 99% of our lectures recorded. So when you join the community, like if you join now, for example, you get access to our last 3 years of recordings. Like we've had Craig Petty, Cal Purnell, David John. We have so many incredible people lecture. And it's also kind of tough because, online, everybody can access free community, blah, 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 anybody can join. So we actually, the only way we're able to do that is we literally manually accept every single member. So now we have 2,700 members nearly in our community. It's crazy. And that means I've clicked a button. Now I think about it, 2,700 times. I've just thought about it. Oh my God, that's so annoying. But we do. because and it's also hard because anybody could be lying, but I'm only saying this because we talked about the double lift, and the verifying question is, what do you call the move where you lift up 2 cards instead of 1? That's how he's a magician, And you'd be surprised because you could easily Google it nowadays, but still people, non-magicians, that try and join just because I don't know, because they see my YouTube channel, because I review every week, and they want to know how magic is done, and I promote the community, and then they put the weird, I can't even give an example honestly, but they give the weirdest answer ever, and I'm like, no, because they're so confused, like 2 cards, so what why would you do that? Why would you lift up 2 cards? It's like, who are these people? So, and it's funny. But yeah, that's that.
It's like trying to get into Pro Mystic and they have a picture of Max Maven, and it's like, what is this magician's first name?
Oh
and
my
you're like,
gosh, yes.
are you looking for
Oh my
Max
gosh.
or are you looking for his real name? Because I know both.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And when you get the password, like, what's the professor's first name? Oh my
Wasn't
God.
it Darren Brown's site years ago? It used to have like Eugene ? Remember?
Yeah.
You type in burger.
Oh, Eugene Burger, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, but that's like, okay, everybody knows who Eugene is, but like, if I'm starting out Magic, I'm buying a first trick right now, in my life, right? And it's that trick where the password is Eugene. I don't know, like, how I'm gonna find that out, like, if it's my
Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
so,
you,
but,
you gotta get
it's fair.
educated to get that far in.
Yeah, you just gotta get educated. You just gotta go, okay, before I learn this trick, let me find out who Eugene something is. So yeah.
Leveling up like a video game. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We have a segment on this show that I keep forgetting about, but Steve reminded me earlier, which we call the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we ask our guests to give a performance story of maybe sometime you're performing, and it might have started off well and quickly went downhill to maybe disastrous, funny circumstances. An example was Mike Lamar wanted to do cart sealing in every airport in America, so you could force a card on the plane and then they'd see it at baggage claim, and he got arrested at the airport.
What?
Suspicious.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna have anything as in that. You just gave me the most crazy story. I can't beat that. Damn it.
And then some other magician, I can't remember who it was, got kicked on the balls at a kid show. Can't remember who that was now.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. But whatever. Who cares?
Dave is the guy that won't turn his camera on in your.
Oh, that's who it was.
Nice. There you go. It's been fucking Dave the whole time.
It's just my face.
Oh my god. You laugh at that, by the way, but we have people in our lectures who fall asleep. It's funny. We joke about. It's horrible. They just fall asleep with their camera on, and they're just sleeping there live, and everybody can see. And my team has to turn off the camera. It happens. Okay, you get people.
That had to be Craig Petty.
He's so busy.
He was bold. He was bold, but maybe it was Dave. I don't know. One of them. I wouldn't have noticed the difference. Okay. Oh my gosh. Story time. Wow. I am put on the spot. Something. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Again,
it's basically we picked the names. So it's just like a performance where like a trick didn't go well when you were doing it. You have to like try and get yourself out of it, and maybe you did, maybe you didn't.
So that I might use an example just because I'm a huge firm believer of like one of the most important skills a magician should learn is improvisation, and I'm always learning. But I think over the few years I've had in Magic, over the nearly 10 years next year in Magic, I've learned to improvise so much. And I did a session on Zoom for our community about improvising and the different techniques and stuff and little frameworks I've created. And there have been so many horrible situations I've ended up in Magic where improvisation saved me. Like one of them was, I guess, I did my school Christmas show. I don't know if it was a Christmas show, but it was one of the stage shows I did in school, and I was performing with Mental Die. And it was one of the first times, and I just completely didn't acknowledge the range issue, and I could not pick up the number. And it was so long ago, I can't even remember. It was a story. It was exactly the scenario I used as an example in this session, but I just couldn't pick it up. Or things like, damn it, this is hard. What has gone wrong?
He's just a perfect magician, when
No,
I
that's the
did.
problem. No, so much goes wrong. It's crazy. The thing, yeah, but that's what saves me all the time is I try, and if it comes to scenario, where I just, for example, I did a trick that I've done so many times. It won Alakazam Magic Trick of the Year Flicks by Nicholas Maversi. He's an incredible guy. I do it all the time. I absolutely love it. It's a great trick and it never fails me. Yet 2 days ago, I had a spectator who was trying to have, not a heckler, I was just over enthusiastic one, and they couldn't really follow instructions, and that happens. Like sometimes you can, I don't know, maybe it is my fault still to this day, but I think sometimes you generally give the instructions as best as you can and stuff to spectator, and those kind of tricks where the instructions are important and it's not your control, and if it doesn't work it looks like you went wrong, but deep down in that case it was the spectator's fault, right? But you can't say, oh, you didn't mix the cards, it gives away the. So that happens quite a lot to me with flicks, for example. Happen the spectator, because with any stack work, for example, if you can only cut, right, and if they start shuffling or something, even if I do an instruction that, but I'm sure I could have done something to improve, but whatever, and then they mix it, and I'm aware that they mix it wrong, but then I'm like, instead of just stopping the trick, I'm like, let's take a chance on it. Why not? Let's just
it could work.
because that happened. And do you think it worked? Fuck no. It didn't. And it was one of the situations. And in those situations, as much as I can improvise, I had no idea what to do. And I was just like, honestly, as a mentalist, I always use this excuse because I generally tell people when I perform mentalism, no, everything works. And I love saying that line all the time because I tell not everything I do works. It's about me choosing the right person. And sometimes it's hard. I believe that I have quite a high chance of choosing the right person because that's the skill I've learned in the last few years. It's not really the psychology as much anymore, but it's the skill, the psychology of choosing the right person that it will work on. And if it doesn't work, then I just generally go, okay, as I said, I just couldn't find a connection. Maybe I'll try something else on you. And then we do, and it's something that will work. And it does. So I guess I cannot think of an exact specific horror story. Sorry, no, probably not the most interesting.
That's a great one, because even the bit you mentioned earlier of trying to do mental dice and just waiting for the signal to know what number it is and getting nothing. That is like you get a cold sweat.
Oh, it's actually even worse than that. It was even worse than that. It wasn't nothing. I was getting too many signals, and I realized what the problem was. It was that I did mental die for the first, and to this day I never do it in their hands anymore, because what I did is on stage I had them in their hands, and when they're doing this sort of thing, I'm getting a 3, 4, 2, wait, 3, 4, 2. Okay, which one is it? And then at that point I took a guess because I was like, okay, it's either 2, 3, 4. 3 in 6 chance, 50%. And I do it. And I was like, okay, I guess 4, and it was a 3. Like, okay. And then I have to improvise the situation. I mean, okay, I was getting, as you were counting, I got an extra one. I wasn't sure, blah, 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 whatever. I improvised. And I do it again. And the way I improvise is, I remember that it was on the floor because it was I didn't have a table. I didn't think about it ahead of time. And I just was used to them doing it. So I was just like, for the third chance, because the first, I do a free phase thing with the mental die. The first one I did, it worked. Second time, it failed. So I needed my third one to work, just so it overall kind of works. And then the second time just felt like genuine mentalism, that it doesn't always work, and it makes it sometimes feel more real. That's fine. And that's, again, what I love about mentalism. If it doesn't work, it feels more real. And if I got it in the third time, it enhanced it. And that was, I think, the story I was trying to say in the thing. And I had to ensure the third time would work well. So I was like, okay, there's a floor. I don't have a table. So I was just like, okay, you know what? And I was just like, yeah, you know what? Just roll it on the floor somewhere so I really can't see and it's far away, and then cover it on the floor. And the whole audience then can see because you're covering on the floor. And no one can know, whatever. That was the thing I probably improvised. And then I knew it would work, and I got the signal. And then it enhanced the trick. So rather than like a horror story, I guess maybe something that inspires anyone watching, kind of with the things I've said here, of how I've dealt with situations like that.
That's got everything. That's got the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Boom. TikTok.
Yeah.
Done.
I found that with the mental dice as well, of like, Joe, you want people to hold their hands like this, but that's not a natural position for your shoulder. So they do tend to rock that way, and then you might get the side dice is now more up than the top dice.
If you give me anything, I'm I think it's natural like this, sideways, not like straight. That's uncomfortable for the spectator. I don't even know if I think they taught that in the tutorial originally. I don't remember, but I don't do it anymore. I just do it on the table from now on whenever I can. And by the way, mental dice is my favorite.
back of hand works a bit better as well because it's if they put it on the back of their hand, it's a bit it's harder.
That's like the roll. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's
but yeah, a table is the best if you can get one because it is that thing. Because I was messing with it even myself, and I was like, I'm like, this is not like that is like even when I do it now, I feel it there. Like, it's like it's not really what you want to do.
But mental diet genuinely, when people ask me what my favorite trick, I do it's mental diet. Like there's no for me it just hits everything, ticks everything off. It's so strong. It sets expectations. It tells them exactly who I am as a mentalist. It's like not crazy powerful. It's powerful, but it's not like very huge. It's like kind of small. They just choose a number, and then the probability increases if I do it 3 times. Then and I present it as okay, it's 1 in 6 chance. Not that crazy. 1 in 36. Oh, now it's over 1 in 6 to the power 3, and it's like and 6 to the power 4 and 6 to the power whatever. And they just don't understand. And if you and it's one I get to really show them my presentation too, where really okay, count for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I say, I'm not getting anything. English is not your native language, is it? And then I have them count in their native language. And like, that's when I got it. Okay, that's interesting. Count faster. It's like I've done mental diet probably more than any trick. So now it's like truly embedded in my head, like every little scenario possible. And yeah, I guess that's when you do a trick like so much. That's when like, I could do it blindfolded. Well, you could because you're literally it's not about looking, it's about feeling. But still, you get the point, okay? Emphasis is the point.
It's that situation, even just the way you're saying about the thinking in their own language is interesting because it's very easy to learn how to count to 6 in a bunch of languages.
Yeah.
Like everyone probably knows like English, French, German.
Yeah.
Even like you might get Japanese or like the Spanish. Like there's a lot of
Everything.
It's very at least 1 to 10. Like that's something that people can pick up quite quickly. So then, if you meet a Spanish person and you start going like uno dos and like you're speaking their language that they're thinking in their head, that's not your native language, it could be quite powerful. Sort of impression, which is really cool.
I love that. I love doing that presentation at the start. That's something fun. So yeah, it's cool. It's really, really cool.
And the other question as a mentalist I meant to ask you when you're in France, like France not being like your home, French not being your native tongue, how would you find peaking a French name that isn't going to be a name that you're used to reading 100 times? Not like because sometimes when you get a peak, you're only looking at like the star and the end of the name, or you can kind of guess what it is. It's like it must be difficult.
You know what? That's so interesting because first of all, I haven't been in a situation like that, but I'm trying to think if I was because honestly, I do a lot of peaks digitally now. So it's typing. I love using apps and stuff, but another 2026 goal is getting to billets. I do a little bit of work, but I want to get more. And especially I got Simon Lipkin's new Blackpool, so I want to try that. And now I have to read. And I also what did I recently get? Simon Lipkin's and billet work. And well, I also used to do some wallet stuff, but it was never a problem in Prague. But in France, I'm trying to think French names. Maybe I don't know how much of a problem. I think the problem in general, the trickiest thing with if I go a little away from French names specifically, but reading handwriting with peaks is usually hard when it's handwritten. I think you would probably relate to that. I'm sure you've had situations maybe where the handwriting is a little tricky. I have had situations where I didn't read the last letter right and it changes everything. Like it might be what letter would it be, an E or Y or something, and then I read and I generally couldn't get it, a B and a D or something. I don't know, I mix them up and it's the wrong thing, and I say I don't know, maybe they're thinking of Dave and I say Bade or something, and they're like, oh, what? But again, that enhances it. Like, okay, now because I'm telling you, I tell them I'm not getting it. I'm not just getting the words into my head. I'm doing it letter by letter, or I'm doing it like little bit by bit. So that's what I'm getting, and it feels real to them. So I guess I don't know how to handle.
I had it recently.
It would be the same way.
It was a French person. It was at one of Steve's show, and I was doing a guest spot at it, and it was French people sitting in the audience, and I got one of the people up, and I got my peak, and like I just recreated it here, but that was what I got.
Beth
Yeah, so
Okay.
I went BEFFE, but it was
Yeah.
BEPPE.
Oh,
the
show
name.
them again.
This is me, my
BEPPE.
recreation of it, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah, but
kind
it
of
looks
like
like a P now.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
I understand.
But when you peep, I don't know that name, but it's like a friend of mine who's in the islands is like, oh yeah, that's a very common French name. I'm like, I don't know. So I revealed it as
I don't even know.
BEFFE, and they were like, no, and then I went, oh shit, it's a P, and then I just like curled them around and was like, is that right? And it's like, I can get away with it. But one of the lines I often use as well to get block apples is writing block capitals. I'd explain why in a minute. And then during the routine of the reveal, I go, in a sing-along cartoon, there's a ball that bounces from word to word. I want you to imagine that happening from letter to letter. That's why I got you to write it in block capital letters. So now there I've been picturing a ball bouncing from letter to letter, and it justifies why I'm asking them to write in block capitals, not just because I need to read it.
Very good. I like that. I'm gonna use that. That's great advice.
It's imagery people are used to. That bouncing ball in a sing-along cartoon or thing is like people are used to that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That's great advice.
For people, as we've gone over the hour now, time has really flown by. For people who want to join the Magic Alon Society, where's the best place for them to go and get all the information?
Sure. I mean, at this point in time, you can literally just search Magic Alon ALON Society. I don't know. I don't know. I'm good with tech, but I'm not ready today. No, I don't have anything. But maybe do I? Oh, I don't know if you can see that.
No,
I can.
Yeah, there you go. I have it.
You can go wide.
Oh, you can do that. Oh, yeah. There you go. It's like scrolling. You can, if you're watching that, you can see probably the link. But it's really simple. As I said, it's completely free, and the moment you join, you have like all the lectures we've done. Nearly. We didn't record Mark Lemon's one, sadly. But come and join, and maybe you see them live. But it's so much fun. It's so great. There's a jams. There's lectures happening every month. We consistently have one. This year is going to be crazy. I hope so. I think we have some really cool people coming up, and so many things happening. One of the maybe on this podcast I can actually do it. This is crazy because I had to keep it like secret for 8 months. It's crazy, but we have. Yeah, why not? I can like tease it. I have to be careful. But this Friday, actually, which is 3 days, we are doing and releasing our biggest. And by the time this comes out, it'll probably have happened already, so you'll know all about it. But we're doing the biggest project thing in our community ever. It's taken 8 months, and we're calling it the evolution. It's crazy because when we thought about it with our team so much, what we'd call it. I didn't want to call it a change because the community is not changing. And especially after everything we've talked about, everything we've done, everything in the society will continue to be exactly how it is. Lectures every month, jams for free, everything. That's always been important to me since the start, day one, and forever. That's how it's going to be. We're calling it an evolution because I've had a vision for this community for a long, long time, how to keep it sustainable, how to keep it growing, how to keep it stronger than ever, and just bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm finally happy it took so long to bring it where it will be. And we're just taking the community to a next step for people who want to, who are going to be interested to just learn more, and not just learn magic, just how to become a better performer and things, and so many exciting things. I gotta try to be so mysterious about it because I have had to be. It's crazy, not by giving too much, but again, if you'll be watching it, go over to the society and check out the launch party we had on the Friday and all the information and everything, and you'll see what it is. It's the biggest, not change, evolution, because that's how we see it. I think it's just the way to give more back to our members. And I guess I just sneak peek that to you guys. So there you go.
Cool, man. That sounds really cool. And yeah, definitely recommend everyone go over and join the Alon Magic Society. I'm a member. I go to all the lectures because they're class. But it's brilliant to get it. Even though the one I couldn't go to because I was busy was Mark Lemon and it wasn't recorded. So
oh no! I like tears.
I actually saw dinner or something that night, and I was like, damn it! I was like, would they mind if I watched it at the table?
When I was on tour and Dave was with me on tour and we were doing, he would be like, yeah, but like intermission, I can watch one of the Alon lectures. And I was like, you can sit up the second half, you prick.
I was in the green. That was the Mark Lemon one. I did join for a bit of it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Genuinely,
I
really? The Mark Lemon?
I watched
That's
the
so
first
funny.
half in the green room. Steve.
David, I think it's time I tell you the truth. We purposely chose that day because when you can. No, kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw the advertisement and screwed it over.
They were like, if he's not going to turn his camera on, he can fuck off.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
I need to set my
Well, this
props.
was fun.
Wait. Yeah, absolutely. It was great. Definitely have everyone over there, and we see you all over there as well. And thanks, Alon, for taking the time for jumping on. Being in France, I know it's like an hour later for you, which is at least if it was
it's
Prague,
okay.
it would be a lot more. So it's not
That's
too
it.
bad.
No, yeah. But no, genuinely, thank you guys so much. I love these kinds of things. I'm a huge fan of the stuff you guys do. And this was a really, really insightful conversation, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've learned a lot myself, and this was really fun. And I hope everybody watching found that too. And I'm excited to see where all of this goes, in the next few years, for you guys and me and all of us. It's gonna be great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
so
man.
much,
Cheers.
everyone. And we'll be back again next time with more, and there's more reviews coming as well on the channel, so make sure you keep an eye out for them. We'll catch you all again next time. See you later.